So good news, I just got off of work and got some boxes from Summit waiting on me, and I figured I'd open them up and take a look inside, see what we got, and then a little bit later I'll do kind of a review on the specifically on the Proform mic. I'm a little worried about it just because I've never used anything from Proform. I've seen some stuff that seems to be very functional. I'm just not 100% sure on the quality of a tool like that. It's, you know, they need to be so accurate that it kind of worries me, because a lot of stuff they make seems to be pretty plastic. But anyway, we'll open this up and take a look and see what we got. Kind of nice when you get something from Summit, even though they drop shipped the mic, it still showed up the same time as the stuff that they sent. And I'm in South Georgia, so I'm just a little bit away from Atlanta, so I usually get things from Summit pretty fast. Oh wow. Well, first thing, it's actually in a wood box. It looks to be pine, but hey, nonetheless. I'm kind of surprised, and I opened it up upside down, like always. Outside micrometer, 4 to 5 inch. Of course, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe bring it a little bit closer, but made in China. Overall, looks to be about what I would be used to seeing. It goes down to 10 thousandths, so that's kind of nice. Even though for measuring pistons, I'm not all that worried about that, but you know, it'll work. Comes with a standard. I would never buy a mic that doesn't have a standard, by the way, and a wrench, which I don't worry about too much. All right, what else we got? Then we got goodies. A fuel pump. I tried the Summit brand fuel pump. I don't know if it's any different than the Holly or anything else, but it doesn't really look all that different. It's 110 gallons per hour, which should be enough for the big block. I don't foresee me using like a big, like, you know, 150 shot or anything like that, or bigger than a 150 shot on it, so I'm thinking that's going to be enough. Chromed, not a big fan of chrome. I'm usually a polished aluminum kind of guy, but hey, on a budget. And an M77 HV, which is an oil pump, which I'm not going to open up. I think most of you probably already know what an oil pump looks like. I got some, I got bolts for the timing cover. It's kind of a luxury when you're on a budget, but the timing cover for mine had the pan head screws on it, which is interesting because I was talking to my dad, and when he originally put that engine together back in, like, I want to say they got that in 87 when he did that. He specifically got the pan head screws because he wanted it to be original. It's kind of an odd thing to do. He also used the car rods instead of truck rods, even though he had both of them. Because he wanted it to be original, which, like I said, to me it's kind of a little bit odd, but what are you going to do? Fuel pump push rod. If you're going to get a fuel pump, get a new fuel pump push rod. Don't stick with the old ones. I had a small block in a Chevy truck 350 that was making all this racket for months and months and months, and we thought we had a broke piston and all this other stuff. Turned out it was a fuel pump push rod making noise. ARP bolts. I got main bolts. Didn't go with studs. I'm not that worried about that. And head bolts. They're heavy. They're expensive, but they're worth it. And what's the last thing? And an oil pump drive shaft. I see no point in kind of reusing stuff like that. It's like 15 bucks, and I mean, it's still 15 bucks, don't get me wrong, it's still money, but for oil pumps and things like that, I mean, why skimp? It's just not a part that you want to break. So I'm going to take a better look at that mic. I'm going to cut it open and kind of look at it, mess with it tonight, and probably give you a review on it maybe either later tonight or tomorrow. But thanks. Alright, good afternoon there, fellow gearheads. Wanted to give you an update. The Proform 4 to 5 inch mic works pretty good. It took a little bit of adjustment to get the to get it to zero out on the standard, but it held its measurement, so I'm pretty happy with that. Did that to measure all the bores in the block, the Chevelle, and they're a little out of round, but not too bad. There isn't anything that's over a thousandths big anyway. There's some areas that are tight on it, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it was the way the block was done before, because they had huge pistons that they put it. Maybe they fit the block to the pistons and made it a little bit tight. Another product that I bought, I don't know if you can see this. It's a Chicago Electric rotary rasp set. It says it's carbon. They're junk. They're absolutely terrible. Maybe they work for wood. I don't know. Let's see if this thing will adjust. Come on. Anyway, I don't know if you can see this real well, but I mean, within just a couple seconds, and this was at a very low air pressure, so it was, you know, wasn't turning hard at all. It just ate that rasp to pieces on cast iron, so they're useless. It might be good for wood, but so I'm keeping what I got left, and one of them was seriously bent, so it wasn't even useful at all. But I also got a set of snap gauges. Seem to be pretty nice. I'm happy with them so far. I'm going to use those for when I'm setting up my valve spring height and stuff like that. But let's get to the block. What did I do today? I cleaned the block with gunk, and then went after it with a high pressure washer. I cleaned everything out, knocked the freeze plugs out. We're going to tap through all the threads for the pan, the mains, the heads. It's a 1/2 inch pipe thread for the water jacket plugs. Pulled the rest of the plugs that were in it out. Ran a file. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can a little bit. Ran a file over all these edges and kind of knocked the sharpness off of them. It supposedly reduces stress risers. I mean, this block has been in service pretty much so for 40, 50 years. So I'm thinking if it would have cracked, it would have done it by now. But figured what the heck, I'd give it a shot. I'm thinking about trying to keep it at 30 thousandths. I need to check Summit to make sure that the engine rebuild kit that I want with the forged pistons comes in 402, which is 4125. If it doesn't, and it only comes in 30 over 396, which is 4124, then it makes some of my tolerances, it makes my clearance a little high. I'd love to be able to measure the pistons before I bought them, but that's the pain in the ass with mail order. So I'm going to take this in this week and get it dipped. I don't use one of those oven type cleaners. I don't like them. I do like the hot tank, so I'm going to get a hot tank, then I'm going to try to get it honed. Wanted to show you another little thing that I found. You can see where it's had trash run through it. You can see the top of the oil pump gear has been ground up a little bit, and the top of you can really see it here on the top of the plate of the top of the oil pump. You can see where it is, and the thing is, you know, when a little piece of trash gets in there and it grinds away at a little bit of this, and then this makes more gunk, and then it gets through there, and then it's just kind of perpetual. that's where I'm at. I've got everything pretty well cleaned up. I got the crank over at the machine shop getting it done. We're thinking it's going to be able to stay 1010. I'm hoping anyway. And kind of cleaning up some parts and going through trying to get everything ready. But that's where we're at for the day. Worked my butt off all day, but I didn't feel like I did much. All right, well, have a good afternoon and see you next